Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island honors Dan Blankenship in opening scenes of Season 7. The Curse of Oak Island fans don't have to wait until November 5 to see footage from the Season 7 premiere, as a special sneak peek showing the first 9.5 minutes has just been released. The debut episode is over 2 weeks away, but an extended look at the beginning of the first episode of the new season gives a big glimpse as to what's to come, and it looks like it could well be the most exciting season to date. One thing's for sure, the swamp is the place to be, as the team discovered at the end of last year. During the summer months when the team had the chance to dig the otherwise frozen Nova Scotia ground, much of their efforts were focused there this year. In the opening scenes, Marty is adamant when he asserts, "The swamp has answers and I want them." Seemingly off the bat, metal detecting expert Gary Drayton appears to make Marty's wish a reality when he makes a find he excitedly declares to be a Bobby Dazzler. As Rick says, if the team find a ship in the swamp, it could change history as we know it. While the footage obviously doesn't give all this season's details away, it confirms that a 14th century find is located among the team's other discoveries. The team also go over seismic data procured earlier this year from the swamp. Could a ship-shaped anomaly there blow the island's more than 220-year-old mystery wide open? Experts interpreting the test results inform the team that the inscrutable object is around 200 feet long by 25 feet wide. According to Gary, this is a good indication that it could be a Spanish galleon that has been sunk in the swamp. For now, the team are in the process of getting permits to drill and excavate the bog, but before that, diver Tony Sampson, who has regularly helped the team, will be sent on a reconnaissance dive. What happens in the money pit this season? Possibly more sonic drilling, where last year earth pulled up from Caisson S6 was found to contain old timbers, bookbinding, and pieces of paper. The ultimate hope is that the 7-foot-high vault first reported in 1897 will finally be located. At the same time that anticipation for a major discovery is running high, there is also a profound awareness of the loss of one of the team's most inspiring members, Dan Blankenship. The legendary treasure hunter is honored at the start of Season 7 in poignant scenes, which bring Rick Legina to tears. For the first time in over half a century, Dan will be physically absent from the island following his death in March 2019, at the age of 96. Nonetheless, the team continue to feel his impact and vow to give Dan the breakthrough he desperately desired during his 50-plus years on Oak Island. Around the war room table, a somber team vow to continue the hunt in his memory. Will they succeed in cementing Dan's legacy as well as their own? A series of all-new specials are currently airing on History each Tuesday leading up to the November 5 season premiere. Each segment features new content and a unique theme showcasing the tireless efforts of Rick and Marty Legina and their team. The episodes are titled Top 25 Moments, Top 25 Theories, Top 25 Finds, and Top 25 Moments You Never Saw. Watch the opening minutes of The Curse of Oak Island Season 7 below, and check back to Monsters and Critics for regular updates once the new season gets underway. In the opening scenes of The Curse of Oak Island Season 7, the air is heavy with reverence. The screen fades from black to a sweeping aerial shot of Oak Island, its mysterious land cloaked in the soft morning fog. The trees sway gently, as if whispering secrets that have been buried for centuries. This season, however, those secrets feel a little closer, a little more personal as the camera lingers over the iconic causeway leading to the island. There is a palpable shift in the tone, a quiet honoring of one of the island's most legendary figures, Dan Blankenship. A close-up of a weathered hand holding a faded map fades in. The map, dotted with the familiar sights of Oak Island, is almost an extension of its owner, Dan. His life and legacy are intertwined with these mysterious grounds. For over 50 years, Dan Blankenship dedicated himself to uncovering Oak Island's secrets, and this season the island feels like it belongs to him, as much as it belongs to the treasure hunters who have followed in his footsteps. The screen cuts to Dan in his younger years. He's smiling, walking through the island with a determined glint in his eye. There's a strength to him that suggests he wasn't just searching for treasure, he was searching for answers for history itself. The music swells softly, a blend of strings and subtle percussion, as we see Dan standing in front of one of the island's many shafts, gazing down into the darkness below. The image is poignant, symbolic of the mysteries he dedicated his life to exploring, knowing full well they may never be revealed in his lifetime. As the camera pans over the infamous Money Pit site, a place Dan excavated with the fervor of a man determined to defy the odds, it pauses to take in the towering crane, the drills, the buckets of earth, all remnants of Dan's relentless work. His hands once guided these very machines, and though he has passed, his presence remains etched in the soil, in the beams of the structures, in every tool he left behind. In a tender moment, the screen transitions to the faces of Rick and Marty Lagina. They stand together, gazing at the island, their expressions solemn. Dan wasn't just another treasure hunter to them. He was a mentor, a father figure, and a living link to Oak Island's storied past. The camera captures Rick as he reflects on his friend's life, his eyes misting slightly. Dan was more than just a treasure hunter. Rick begins, his voice thick with emotion. He was a man of determination, wisdom, and integrity. He believed in this island, he lived for it. Marty adds with a wistful smile, Dan never gave up. Even when the digs seemed hopeless, even when the answers weren't coming, he believed. And that belief is what kept the rest of us going. The brothers share a quiet nod, an unspoken bond that Dan fostered in them. A bond not just to each other, but to the island. The screen fades to black, and a new image emerges. Dan's modest cabin, standing tall against the landscape of Oak Island. It is a structure that, much like its owner, has withstood the passage of time. The wind blows gently through the trees, and the cabin seems to breathe, as though still inhabited by the spirit of the man who called it home. Inside, the camera lingers on a photograph of Dan, smiling beside his beloved dog. It's a simple image, but it speaks volumes about the life he lived, a life of loyalty, persistence, and quiet courage. As the camera zooms in, viewers can almost feel the warmth of Dan's presence, the weight of his legacy. His unwavering belief in the island's mysteries wasn't just about treasure, it was about uncovering the truth, no matter how deeply it was buried. The tribute transitions to an emotional sequence featuring Dan's son, Dave Blankenship. Dave walks along the shores of Oak Island, his eyes fixed on the horizon. He doesn't say much, but his silence speaks louder than words. It is clear that this journey is not just about continuing the hunt. It is about honoring his father's work and keeping alive the flame that Dan ignited. "We're going to finish what he started," Dave says softly, his voice carrying a hint of the same determination that once burned in Dan. This island, it was everything to him. The episode cuts back to the rest of the team, Craig Tester, Jack Begley, and Gary Drayton, all standing by the memorial plaque recently placed on the island in Dan's honor. As they lower their heads in a moment of silence, the wind seems to carry Dan's name across the island, a gentle whisper that feels eternal. The screen fades once more, this time to Dan's final resting place. The camera lingers on his grave marker, simple and unassuming, much like the man himself. But the legacy it represents is anything but simple. Dan Blankenship's story is one of grit, passion, and an unyielding faith in something larger than himself. Oak Island may be home to countless mysteries, but perhaps the greatest treasure it has ever held is the spirit of Dan Blankenship. The closing shot of the episode is a breathtaking view of the island at sunset, the sky painted in hues of gold and amber. As the sun dips below the horizon, the words "in loving memory of Dan Blankenship" appear on the screen, a final tribute to a man whose love for the island was as enduring as the mysteries he sought to uncover. The season has just begun, but this tribute sets the tone. It's not just about treasure anymore, it's about legacy.